Okay, so now we have our authentication service running and we tested, but we tested only locally. Can we just run it in a different machine or even run it in a different cloud computing environment? And this is what we'll be discussing is using containers. So what's a container? That's the first question. So we can imagine a container similar to the shipping containers. It doesn't matter what is inside it, what box is inside it. You can ship it anywhere using a train, using a ship, using a truck. It doesn't matter because it looks in such a way and it has a certain locking system. Similar to that is containers. So we can define it as a standard unit of software that packages up code and all its dependencies, so the application runs quickly and reliably from one computing environment to another. So it provides us with portability because every container will have all the application dependencies and it will run as expected regardless of the environment it will run. Second thing is containers run almost as fast as running the native application directly on the operating system, which means that its performance, that's what may set it apart from something like the virtual machines, because it doesn't take that much memory and CPU that the virtual machine takes. Also, a program running inside a container sees no other program running on the machine. So with containers, you can run and define an isolated process running on the operating system. With all of these advantages that we see from containers, it will be a step forward for us. Now there are many tools we can use to create containers, but the most popular of them is Docker, and this is what we are going to use in this course. So to dockerize our authentication service, we need first to create a Docker image of the service and then run a container instance from that Docker image. In order to do this, first we need to create a Docker file. A Docker file is like a recipe. It defines the build script that defines the container image for our application. We then build this Docker file using the Docker build, which will create the Docker image for us. Now, the Docker image is the actual package that contains the application source code with all the necessary dependencies, and it describes the command that should be used to run this application. Now we have the Docker image. We need to run it using docker run, and this will run a container instance from that image. And this is what we will implement next.